There is a quiet feeling that follows some people every time they spend money. And it is not fear, and it is not logic. It is guilt about buying something. Nice guilt about resting. Instead of working, guilt about earning more than a parent or a sibling ever did. This feeling hides behind responsible language like I should not have, and I do not deserve this, but underneath those words is a belief that having money or enjoying money makes you a bad person, and that belief is expensive because guilt does not just sit quietly in the background, it actively shapes the decisions that build or destroy wealth over a lifetime. It pushes people to give away opportunities, underprice their work, and sabotage progress. The moment things start going well today, we are going to expose exactly how guilt drains bank accounts one decision at a time, and more importantly, we are going to learn how to recognize it before it costs you another year of your financial life. To understand why guilt makes you poorer, you have to understand where it was installed. Most people did not choose this feeling, it was given to them early, usually by watching a parent struggle financially and quietly absorbing the idea that money causes pain, or by growing up in a household where wanting more was treated as greedy or ungrateful. Children do not question these lessons, they simply absorb them as truth. So a child who saw a parent stressed over bills learns that money equals danger. A child who was told to be grateful for what they have learns that wanting more is shameful. These lessons do not disappear with age, they simply go underground and resurface every single time that adult tries to negotiate a raise, charge a fair price, or invest in themselves. The guilt feels personal, but it is actually inherited. It is a program running in the background, written by someone else's experience, and until it is noticed, it will keep quietly steering every financial choice you make. Guilt and shame are often used as the same word, but financially they behave very differently. Shame says I am bad. Guilt says I did something bad, and that distinction matters because shame attacks identity while guilt attacks behavior. A person carrying financial shame believes they are inherently undeserving of wealth no matter what they achieve. A person carrying financial guilt feels bad about specific actions like spending on themselves or outperforming someone they love. Shame tends to freeze people entirely, making them avoid money conversations altogether. Guilt tends to make people sabotage their own success right after they achieve it, which is why so many people can build momentum and then mysteriously stall the moment things start improving. Understanding which one is driving your behavior is the first real diagnostic step, because you cannot fix a wealth block with generic advice. You have to know whether you are dealing with a belief about your worth or a reaction to your actions before any strategy will actually work. One of the clearest signs of financial guilt is chronic underpricing. A freelancer who charges half of what their work is worth, a business owner who feels uncomfortable raising prices even when costs have doubled, an employee who never asks for the raise they have clearly earned. This is not humility, it is guilt wearing the costume of modesty. The logic sounds reasonable on the surface. I do not want to seem greedy, I do not want to take advantage, but the real story underneath is a person who unconsciously believes that charging their true value will make them unlikable or selfish, so they quietly punish themselves before anyone else even gets the chance to judge them. The tragic part is that this pattern does not just cost money once, it costs money every single transaction for years, compounding across an entire career. The guilt is invisible, but the financial damage is measurable in missed raises, underpriced invoices, and years of undercharged work that can never be recovered. Another pattern guilt creates is the disappearing act that happens right after success. A person gets a bonus and immediately gives most of it away. A person gets promoted and suddenly starts overspending until the extra income evaporates. A person finally builds savings and then finds an urgent reason to drain the account. This looks like bad luck or poor planning, but it is often something deeper, called self-sabotage. After success, when success feels unfamiliar or undeserved, the mind searches for a way to return to the old, familiar level of struggle, because struggle feels safer than the unknown territory of having more. This is why some people can earn a great income for years and still have nothing to show. For it, their subconscious mind is not trying to destroy them, it is trying to protect them from a version of life it does not yet believe they deserve, and until that belief changes, no amount of income increase will ever translate into lasting wealth. Guilt does not only appear when you spend, it also appears when you succeed past someone you love, a sibling who never went to college, a parent who worked a hard labor job, a friend who is still struggling financially when you start earning more than the people who raised you or grew up beside you. A strange discomfort can creep in, called success guilt. Instead of enjoying the achievement, part of you feels like you have betrayed the people you came from, so you unconsciously slow yourself down. You turn down opportunities. You stay smaller than your potential just to stay emotionally close to people who have not caught up yet. This is rarely a conscious decision. It feels like humility or loyalty, but it is actually a hidden tax on your future, paid quietly every time you shrink your ambition to match someone else's comfort level. Real love for your family does not require staying financially stuck. It requires becoming capable enough to eventually help lift them higher too. Search keywords. Religion and culture often add another invisible layer to financial guilt. Many belief systems were built around teachings that link money to corruption or spiritual danger. Phrases repeated for generations create a subconscious equation where wealth equals moral risk and poverty equals virtue. This can create a painful internal conflict. A person wants financial security but feels like wanting it is somehow spiritually wrong, so they self-limit their income just enough to feel safe from that internal judgment. It is important to separate genuine values like generosity and humility from distorted guilt that punishes ambition itself. You can be deeply ethical, generous, and spiritually grounded while still building real wealth. Those things are not opposites. The goal is not to reject your values, it is to examine whether the guilt you feel around money is actually protecting your integrity or simply keeping you small because somewhere along the way, those two very different things got fused together into one belief. Search keywords. Guilt also shows up in the body long before it shows up in a bank statement. A tight chest when checking a bank balance, a wave of nausea before sending an invoice, sweaty palms during a salary negotiation. These are not random, these are physical alarms triggered by an old belief that money is dangerous territory for you. Specifically, the nervous system remembers emotional pain associated with money, even when the logical mind has moved on. So a person can intellectually want more wealth while their body is quietly fighting against every step required to get there. This is why willpower alone rarely fixes financial guilt. You cannot think your way out of a felt sense of danger. You have to teach your nervous system that financial growth is actually safe through repeated calm exposure to the very things that used to trigger shame. Checking numbers, negotiating, pricing, and receiving money without immediately deflecting it away. So how does someone actually begin to unwind financial guilt? The first step is naming it out loud, silently identifying the exact sentence running underneath the behavior. Something like, if I have more than my family, I will be seen as arrogant, or if I charge full price, I am taking advantage of people. Naming the sentence removes its power because guilt operates best in vague discomfort, not in clear, specific language. Once the belief is visible, it can be questioned. Is it actually true that earning more makes you a bad person? Is it actually true that your worth and your price are the same thing? Most of these beliefs collapse instantly once examined directly because they were never built on logic. They were built on old emotional survival, and old survival strategies rarely hold up well under calm adult scrutiny. This single practice of naming the belief is often the fastest way to loosen its grip on your financial decisions. The second step is practicing receiving without shrinking. Most people know how to give generously but freeze the moment they are on the receiving end of money. A compliment about their price, a client who pays without hesitation, a raise offered before they even asked. Instead of simply saying thank you, the guilty mind rushes to minimize it. Oh, it was nothing, or I got lucky, or here, let me give some of this back. This reflex trains your subconscious to associate receiving with discomfort. So the practice is simple and repeatable. The next time money or recognition comes to you, pause and let it land fully without deflecting it, without apologizing for it, and without immediately spending it away to relieve the tension. This feels awkward at first because it goes against years of conditioning. But every time you receive calmly instead of guiltily, you are quietly rewriting the old rule that having more makes you a bad person. The third step is redefining what wealth is. Actually, for guilt thrives when money is seen as something taken from a limited pool where your gain means someone else's loss, but wealth built with skill, value, and fair exchange is not stolen from anyone. It is created through solving problems and providing value. Once you genuinely believe that your financial growth can exist alongside other people's growth instead of it, the zero-sum guilt story starts to lose its grip. You can raise your prices and still be a generous person. You can out-earn people you love and still support them meaningfully. You can enjoy the results of your own hard work without owing an apology to anyone. The goal is not to abandon compassion for others. The goal is to stop confusing compassion with self-punishment, because a version of you drowning in guilt has far less capacity to help anyone than a version of you who is financially strong, grounded, and free. Guilt convinced you that staying small was noble, that struggling quietly was safer than rising visibly, but nothing about your financial suffering ever made anyone else's life better. It only kept you from becoming someone capable of real impact. The truth is that wealth handled with awareness does not corrupt a good person. It amplifies them. The same generosity, discipline, and care you already carry simply gets more room to operate when guilt stops draining your decisions. Every choice you make from here forward, whether it is naming an old belief, pricing your work honestly, or simply receiving money without flinching, is a small vote for a new financial identity, one that is not built on fear or shame, but on clarity and self-respect. That is the real answer to why guilt makes you poorer. It was never about the money itself. It was always about the story you were taught to attach to it, and that story right now today can finally be rewritten.